The kind of health and safety bit, which we always have to do. So no fire alarm drills today. If you do hear a fire alarm, please make your way safely to the nearest emergency exits, which are clearly marked. There are some behind the stage, which is why the stage is set forward to give you room to get out in the event of mass panic, but not expecting that to be a problem today. For obvious reasons, we're just asking people to be extra sensitive around washing hands and sanitising regularly. You know, there's lots of facilities around to do that. I'm sure we're well used to it all by now. And keeping your distance from a social perspective and making sure, if you can, when you're moving around, that you pop a mask on. But again, I'm not going to push too hard on that because I think we're sick to the back teeth of what we found. The pingdemic has rather affected numbers in person today. So over the last couple of days, we've had an awful lot of people, unfortunately, having to drop out from physically attending. And I know lots of people are excited to come and get out and about and see some real people. This is the most amount of people I've seen since I went to the test event at Edgbaston Cricket Ground up the road a couple of weeks back. A bit less fancy dress today, but hopefully some more beer snakes later on. If you do have any questions or any concerns, then please reach out to one of the ACS team or a member of the museum staff, and we'll point you in the right direction. So, conscious that quite a lot of new faces around this year who don't know EACS, which is both a bad thing and a real opportunity for us, I think. So I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about who we are and what we do for you. Before I get onto that, we're just going to have a quick look at the agenda. We're starting a whisker late today, but I don't think we'll be too pushed for time, and we might see if we can bring things forward a little bit and let people hit the road a little bit earlier on. After me will be Simon from iBoss, who'll be talking to you about building the steps towards your SASE roadmap. We've got Mark Hine and Terry Genvy from Simulate up next, talking about breach and attack simulation, which is a subject I've always enjoyed listening about. The guys from AppCure, so Ryan and Steve are here, coming to talk about how they're helping organisations with their cloud transformations, and of course Citrix doing much the same. Just before lunchtime, we've got lunch laid on in some rooms out the back, so we'll direct you in the right location when the time comes, and have socially distanced seating available and all that sort of stuff. You'll be pleased to know those areas are air conditioned. I know it's a bit toasty out in the hall. There's been a bit of a technical fault, I think. We've got Carbon Neutral coming up after lunch, and finally Microsoft. So a chap called Andrew Clinic from Microsoft, who are sorry, I've just lent on my clicker. A chap called Andrew Clinic, who is the program manager for applications at Microsoft, who is over in the States on the wrong coast for us. So he's done a pre-recorded session for us because it's be about 3 a.m. by the time we get to him, which seemed a bit unreasonable. EACS, we are all of the things that you see on the screen, but how I prefer to talk about EACS is about what we do for our customers. We designed the storage that underpinned the sequencing of the human genome down at the Sanger Trust outside of Cambridge. We've helped Team 17 to visualise for their management team how many copies of Worms were downloaded on Xbox versus PlayStation, kind of thing. We delivered the infrastructure that supported the RAF Sentinel R1 plane that's just ceased service this year, an infrastructure which lasted 14 years. That's not a guarantee I'm prepared to make for any upcoming projects, but that's something hopefully to build some confidence. We helped our local hospital to deliver blood test results faster on the ward to patients by using a solution with Citrix and tablets that meant that instead of taking up to 24 hours to discuss blood test results with their patients, doctors could do it at the bedside in minutes rather than hours. And particularly pertinent, I think, to the setup today is we helped the Royal College of General Practitioners build a COVID discussion forum just as the pandemic was kicking off and lockdown began back in kind of March, April time last year. The college were worried about GPs not being able to share stories from the front line, perhaps, and exchange best practices and tips. And so we stood up a secure, identity-integrated discussion forum for them inside 24 hours, which helped the UK medical practice be able to face what was coming and share learnings from the front line. So rather than talking about the 6 wheels, our wheel of services as we talk about it, which you can go and see on the stand when we go outside, I prefer to say that we deliver tangible outcomes for our customers, and they just happen to involve IT systems. So a question for you. There's one man in the room, I think he knows the answer, but when is a SAN installation not a SAN installation? And the answer to that is when you look like this, or not exactly like this. Running back to April, May time, lockdown was in full swing. We were not able to go and see our customers. Lots of projects being put on hold as businesses suffered the effect of the pandemic and went into lockdown. They mothballed premises. a customer of ours had just got the sign-off from their budget to do the largest capital project in their company group. So it's a group of museums based down in London. And they were faced with the challenge of refreshing their entire infrastructure while the whole museum ecosystem was shut down and mothballed. It obviously made it very difficult for us to get consultants on the ground to do the work with them. And so we came up with something a bit different. We shipped them a pair of glasses. And so instead of having our consultant going to site, unboxing kit and plugging cables into the right hole, we shipped a pair of glasses down. Now, lesson one is it's very important to have them charged on the day of the installation and not have spent the previous day messing around with them. But we can talk about that later. And what we did was we bought a license for a product called TeamViewer, which many of you will know, and we used something called TeamViewer Pilot, which is their augmented reality solution. What that allowed us to do was, instead of our consultant travelling to site and all of the challenges that came with that at the time, is we had the hardware shipped directly to the museum. The museum staff, who were not storage experts, but we had good sort of solid IT generalists with lots of value to be able to add into the project under a bit of guidance from our guys. We shipped them the glasses, they hooked them up to the Wi-Fi, and we did a virtual reality or an augmented reality SAN installation. So they unboxed it, they racked it, they stacked it, they plugged the cables in, and our guys were able to draw on the screen of the laptop and point red wire in blue hole, blue wire in red hole, that kind of thing, and deliver a project that otherwise would have been impossible to deliver with the restrictions in place. And it's that kind of thing that's posed challenges for us and every other organisation in the country over the last 18 months. And there's been some fantastic stories, I think, of innovation and different ways that people have overcome the limiting factors and the difficulties that the lockdown has imposed. When it comes to looking forward and moving out of the pandemic, subject to the pingdemic, but we're all hoping over the next few months, as the vaccination rates rise and so on, that we're all able to get back to something close to normal. We need to start looking at what's next. And when we look at what's next at EACS, it meant what's next in terms of Optimise IT. So a normal Optimise IT looks a bit like this. So in recent years, it's been at Duxford Imperial War Museum or at Silverstone. It's been 300-400 customers. It's been 20, 25, 30 vendors and partners of ours. Breakout sessions, a really long day out for those of us on the other side of it, and a really enjoyable day out for everybody else who attends it. For obvious reasons, we couldn't do that this year, so we were limited in terms of numbers in the venue, which meant in turn that we had to limit the number of partners, and therefore we decided to do the hybrid event that we've put together today. So online, when you go home, will be recordings of all of the sessions today. If there's anything you missed, there'll be data sheets and videos and demos to cobble dogs with. But all of the partners who weren't able to come today for a variety of reasons have all got presence in that platform as well, and that'll be available for you on an ongoing basis. So if you haven't already registered, please do so, and make sure you get some value out of the reams of content that's available for you there. So given we'd normally have 30, 40, 50 partners in the room with us, it was quite difficult to let people down gently, I guess, in terms of who we were going to select from our shortlist to come and join us at the event today. And so what we tried to do is we tried to pick a set of partners that have helped us solve challenges over the last 18 months for our customers. I'm sure you will have all experienced in your day jobs changing the way that you deliver IT to your various stakeholders. Simulate, the threat landscape, I think, over the last 18 months has changed dramatically, and we've seen much more uptake in things like ransomware and attacks on certainly supply chain and healthcare and those kind of things. And we've had some real success stories with our customers with Simulate, testing people's defences as they change the way that they work to be working from home and not working in the office, not having access to the data centre, that kind of thing, and being able to evidence up to their boards and their senior management that their IT teams are doing the right thing and looking after their organisation. Citrix obviously have had a huge role to play for organisations around the world in delivering safe, secure and performant remote access back into offices and virtual PC systems where people were just able to remotely access the PCs they had in their office and work as if they were at their desk from home with very little input from the IT team. It's been hugely beneficial. iBoss, I think, have had a phenomenal 12 months on the basis that the perimeter that we're used to working in, the office with the firewall and the maybe the cloud-based web filtering, is just changed, and people are working on different devices. They're working from home. They're accessing applications without coming back into the network as they normally would do. And so people like iBoss, who can help secure you in the appropriate manner for whatever you're doing, have been really valuable to us and to our customers in the last 12 months. And there's never been a better time to talk about carbon neutrality. EACS is a carbon neutral business, one of not many IT providers in the UK who are able to say that. And we've been working with the carbon footprint for a long time to help us do that, and indeed start to talk to our customers about it. I'm sure your CFOs and finance directors have been delighted with your travel bills in the last 18 months. And certainly for us, our expenses bill has dropped somewhat, our ability to take customers out for lunch and that kind of thing, which is why you see a gaggle of hungry client managers around the edge of the room waiting to talk to their customers. So hopefully that's not too far away from us again. But it's just a great opportunity to have a look at what carbon neutrality can mean for your business as a differentiator. I will come to Microsoft last, but AppCure is an organisation that we've been working with for 12 months or so. Ryan, their CTO, is a bit of a legend in the application delivery game around the world. And they've been helping us unlock cloud migrations for our customers who've been stuck with on-premises systems because of legacy applications that didn't work in the cloud world. And AppCure has allowed us to pick those up and modernise those environments without having any kind of real impact to the end users. It's a fantastic bit of kit, and I'd very much recommend you go and have a chat with the guys if you get a chance. And of course, Microsoft probably benefited more than any other organisation in the world from the pandemic. I know there are those who think Bill Gates planned it, but I'm not sure I totally agree. But I would imagine the vast majority of you in this room have used Teams or Zoom or something similar over the course of the last 18 months to keep your teams working. Certainly we have, and out in the hall today, you can see some of the collaboration kit that we've been using and that we've been helping our customers with. It's made a big difference. And as we start to see people transition back to work, what we're finding is that the end user experience at home is better than it is in the office, because at home you've got a laptop with a webcam and a quiet room and good noise cancelling, as long as you can keep the kids out of the way. Whereas when you're in the office, you've got maybe a desk speaker phone that 5 or 6 people are huddled around. You maybe haven't got video in all of your meeting rooms, that kind of thing. And so as we return back to work, and this might be the first time, but I'm sure not the last time I say it today, hybrid meeting experiences, actually kitting out your offices to mirror the experience that your staff at home, I think is going to become ever more important for people. So do go and have a chat with the guys outside. They've got some great little nuggets to show you. I'm going to get out of the way and let you listen to the interesting people. You'll see me popping up to say hello to our speakers through the course of the day, and then later on today, Kevin will come and do the closing remarks and talk a bit about his experience as the chairman of the Motor Museum before we then head off for the tour, which I'm sure you're all looking forward to. Any questions through the course of the day, just come and find me, come and find one of the ACS team, and we'll be really happy to help. It's really great to see so many people here and so many people online as well. And the best value from today is in asking questions and sharing experiences with us and with your peers in the room. So please do make sure you make the most of the opportunity today. And with that, I will welcome onto the stage Simon from iBoss, who's going to talk to you about how your SASE roadmap might come together. Simon.